Welcome to the Shy Tea Podcast. It's your girl Janelle Renee, and I am here to recap Season 6, Episode 8 of The Shy. This episode had so many moving pieces. Honey, I don't even know where to start. Okay, there's so much going on. This was the mid-season finale. I'm super excited. I got a lot of things to say, so let's dive in. We open up this episode watching Kevin on a train going throughout the city of Chicago. It looks like he's just reminiscing of the memories that he's built within the city as he's preparing to leave and head to LA for a new venture. I can only imagine the thoughts going through his mind because I myself, upped and moved from my comfort to try um, new things in a different city. Um, and making those changes, making that decision to up and leave is the hardest choice. Like, you're leaving behind all you know, you're leaving behind your support system. So, taking this last final route around his city that he's learned to love, um, it's filled with a lot of emotion. So we see flashbacks of him and his sister growing up, him and his boys, his family. Oh, it's already setting the tempo because I'm just like, yeah, he's leaving the show. The second I saw how we opened it up, I was like, yeah, there's no spinoff. He's leaving the show. That's where my mind went. Keisha and Emmett are in the kitchen and Keisha's preparing something. Emmett looks like he's trying to make a sandwich, but during the process of this, he realizes that he's missing the key ingredient. First of all, whoever uses Miracle Whip, count your days. Because I don't understand it. The only one we acknowledge is Hellman's. That's one. So y'all let me know what's your mayonnaise preference because Miracle Whip ain't it for me. You try to give me something with Miracle Whip, I'm looking at you side eye, just a little bit, because the only one I acknowledge is Hellman's. But anywho, let's get back to it. So he's looking for this, and they're both having a silent treatment at this point. So he doesn't want to ask Keisha because they're both not talking to each other. But eventually, I guess she just gets annoyed that she could tell he's looking for something and doesn't want to say something. So she's like, "What you looking for? Why do we have to keep talking to each other like this?" Keisha has been with this attitude for this whole season. Like, it's very rare that we've seen her smile. But she lets him know that that was on the list, and clearly you forgot. So I guess you're just not going to have no mayo. She asks Emmett if he's going to be home tomorrow because she wants to go job hunting. He says no, he's not going to be there, but he did say that he can make plans for next week to be off for the week. I guess that was a ticket to get the floodgates open because Keisha was like, I appreciate it. And then we get straight to the bedroom of them finally getting some intimacy because we've been seeing them argue all the time. I'm just like, are they even getting it on? So they finally got to, do the do. She was like, thank you. Thank you for taking the time out for me. I hope that this is a good indicator that we could see some lighter days between Keisha and Emmett, but this is only a few minutes in, so I'm not going to hold my breath. I won't, because we've seen what we had to deal with in this season so far. We're at Duda's playground. I don't know why I said it just like that. Um, we are at the Minions playground, and Zay and Duda are having a discussion when Nuck walks in, and Duda lets Nuck know that Zay has found a new way to wash their money. And I don't know what it is about Zay, but it just seems like he is just trying to butter up Duda, like he's in mission kiss ass mode when his face when Duda said that he found a new person to watch the money through or whatever. He was just like, yeah, I won up to you. That's how he was looking. He gives me that I'm gonna kiss your ass vibes. Like he's trying to be Duda's right hand. That's the vibes I'm getting. And Nuck is like, yeah, okay, but yes, that's good for the business and all, but why was taking out a leader in our business good? And he was like, listen, that's not good for business. That actually adds more stress to my business. But when I told you to take care of it, that didn't mean to take him out. I really was hoping that you could find some negotiation skills deep down inside to determine how you was going to get him to flip so that he can continue washing the money. Because when he said handle it, to be honest, I was shocked because I was like, I don't think he wants you to kill Pastor, but I do want you to figure out how you're going to get him, one, to shut up, and two, to watch the money. Because that was the two main things that y'all wanted. So to hear Duda say that in the scene definitely aligned what my thoughts were. Because I was like, this is no value to Duda to be having this pastor die in this manner. Like, if anything, it's making the block hot. So it was interesting to see that. And Nuck is just like, damn, I just can't get a break. Every time I think I'm doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. Tiff and Rob are starting to finally see the results of their crop that they're starting to grow. I think that's what we're going to reference it. Is it considered crop? Y'all just work with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, they trying to get into the weed business and they're starting to finally see the results of it. Tiff is spraying her plants, trying to give them some TLC, and Rob is just like, okay, I don't have the most patience right now. How much longer is this going to be? And she lets him know that, it's gonna take time. Cairo already told us that. All we have to do is keep selling Duda stuff, and then eventually we'll get rid of that, and then we could start our own business. And Rob uses this opportunity to let her know, like, listen, that loan came with some strings, and Duda may not be around long enough for us to keep selling his stuff. And she's like, why? Like, I don't get it. That's when he informs her that the loan came with some strings attached, and his job was to fulfill killing whoever got rid of his uncle so that he could get the money. And now she's just like, well, you need to tell your mom, like, you can't do that. Like, this is not the type of dude that you just go around popping for fun. And he's informing her that, listen, you don't know my mom, okay? She makes Duda look like a saint. So there's no talking to her. So we going to have to, move quick on this. We got to figure this out because he may not be around that much longer. Tiff is just really upset in this moment about him not communicating with her the strings that were attached to this loan. But what was the room that you gave him to look around for a loan at the same time? Tiff was so damn eager to get started by any means necessary that you didn't give Homeboy much space to search around for other options either, So right now it's a little too late to be mentioning, oh, he should have told you this, then, the third. Like, I get it. But y'all knee deep in now. Y'all are. Kevin is finishing up last minute packing. He has a couple of piles, some to donate, some to take with him. And you see that he's just in his head, like, these are the last few moments that he's going to be in Chicago when he gets a knock at the door. And at the door, you have the furniture people coming to take his furniture. But the only thing is that they're a few days early. He's scheduled to get his furniture picked up Monday. He's leaving Tuesday, and they're there to pick it up now, and I believe it's Saturday. So I don't know how they got their wires crossed, but Kevin is like, "Listen, I have till Monday." He showed him the email to confirm it, and the moving guy is like, "Man, listen, we going out of business, so we gonna need to take this today anyway. So there's no Monday. We got to take it today. We're going out of business. We just don't want to tell everybody our business." Kevin was much calmer than I would have been because what you're not going to do is be moving all my fold stuff that you see clear as day on this couch. Kevin is just like, man, do you? I got much more other things on my mind. So he just went, closed his door, and went about his business. We see Keisha and Emmett laying in bed, having some one on one time. They're eye gazing, you know, Emmett's giving smooches. Emmett goes ahead and tells Keisha that, damn, girl, I forgive you after you putting that on me. And Keisha just has to open up her mouth and say, man, that was an apology. I was just thanking you for sacrificing some time next week so that you could watch the kids and I could go start looking for a job. And she's like, it's not just that simple for this to be an apology. Like, we just can't move on from this. And I get where Emma is coming from at this point, because at this point, how long are we going to keep it up like this? I want us to be back to who we were. And I'm trying to fix it, but you're not making this easy for me, sis. Keisha gets a text message um, from Nook asking if she had a few moments to talk. And I'm just like, girl, do not meet up with this dude. Do not. Like, you already crossed the line last week. Don't meet up with him. Like, what? There's nothing for y'all to talk about at this point. You just made up somewhat with your man. Y'all trying to get to a better place. Like, either y'all you gonna fix it at home, or you gonna make the decision to part ties. Because at the end of the day, like, you really out of line. We see Papa coming into Spunky's. He went straight to the back to start his day, and Kenya excused herself from the front register, and she walks back and she approaches Papa, and she was like, "Hey, you weren't scheduled for another week. Like, are you good to really come back and be here?" And he's like, "You know what? It's best for me to be here. This is where I want to be." He does apologize to her about their last meetup that they had, him just finding out about his father's passing. And he wasn't upset with her, but he was taking it out on her. So he truly apologized about that. And he said that was out of character and that won't happen again. She does follow up by inviting him to go bowling because she wanted to find ways to help him take his mind off of things. He informs her that based off of the last conversation that he had with his dad, because they couldn't find a resolve, he feels that it's best that he still moves forward with them just being friends. And I feel like we're going to get from Papa right now him trying to make his decisions solely based off of what him and his father had discussed. Like, I truly feel like we're going to see him making actions solely based off of what would his dad say or what would his dad do. Feeling like he has to pick up and go forward with his life as his dad's, if that makes sense. That's just the vibes I'm getting from him. It feels like um, all the decisions that he's going to make is solely off of him. Maisha and Kevin are laid up, they're cuddling, discussing all the plans that they have once he leaves to LA. So we do know that they decided to keep this going, to keep the train going and have a long distance relationship. But I could see that they're both nervous to determine. The unknown is scary because you don't know what it's going to look like. So Maisha has some concerns about him possibly getting so busy and maybe not having the time, or him getting caught up and one day realizing that this is not what they want. And I could sense that they truly want to make this work. I don't think Maisha's concerns are far off. I think she just wants to ensure that she doesn't get hurt. And with any love venture, it is going to be a risk. So I think she's willing to take it. She just wants him to really be upfront and honest with her, because some things, when it becomes your reality, may be completely different to what y'all plan for in your mind. So she's like, listen, if you ever get to a point where this is just too much or too hard, please let me know. Keep me informed so I won't have no surprises. And I think that's the best thing that she could at least say, or they could at least do for each other. That when you're in a long distance relationship, if it's no longer working, say that. so that either some resolve could happen or it will be a conversation where y'all go y'all separate ways. But you could see that's mainly her concern. Like, what is this going to look like? How are we going to survive this? This is also new to them. And I think that they truly have what it takes. Like, they both have the love and respect for each other. They have some history. So it's really just based off of how much you want this, how much you need this person. Like, you're going to do anything to keep it around. It looks like Emmett found out the dollar amount for how much he owes, and they still not telling us because I want to know how long his CVS receipt is. Because I know he's been racking it up. Okay. I know he's been adding on top of adding on top of adding. I know that list is long, baby. So he's discussing how much he owes to Jaden Darnell, which is his mom and dad, if y'all didn't know. And he's like, I know this is a lot of money, but this is what I need so that I can ensure to protect my family. And him and his dad get into it a little bit because, he's telling him, listen, it's not about the money, but it's about the decisions that you made that put your family in danger. And we're just trying to help you, but at some point, you got to start listening to me. And Emmett is like, listen, I don't need you. I'll figure this out. And Darnell's like, sit your ass down. You better sit down. I'm going to handle this. I'll be back. So Darnell about to go do something. And I don't recall if I saw the Bluetooth in, but when that Bluetooth out, he mean business. We are at the Rock where we see several volunteers assisting sorting clothes. On one side, we have Tiara folding, and then on the other side, we have Shad folding and sorting. And he's being a creep, looking at her. And somewhere deep and down inside, I'm just like, hold on. So y'all had this one night. They haven't showed any indicator of them continuing the conversation after that one night. So I'm like, damn, Shad, you really that pressed? That's where the disconnect is for me. Because you're doing all this mentally, like obsessing over homegirl, and she got her own man over here. Marcus is there as well, and she's, talking to him about how she likes volunteering with him, how she just never thought she saw herself in love and actually, finding a groove with Marcus's daughter. She's not that big on kids. So she's like, I just never thought my life would be like this. And she's loving it. So they give each other a kiss. When Shad sees Tiara and Marcus kiss, when I tell you, you would think she was cheating on him in front of his face, how he looked. He was so bothered. And I'm like, how do we get to this point? Like, you got your whole lady at home. How did we get to the point where you felt like you had to send Tiara a text message? And instantly, I was like, I bet you he sent it to his girl. His text message said, I'm finally letting you go, Tiara. I'm gonna look at that amazing night we shared as just that, one amazing night. The fact that you felt the need to send this message to Tiara blows my mind because, again, this was one night. One. First of all, Emmett, if he brings up this car one last time, see, Tiff, she better than me. Because this, I think, is the third time that he mentions this car. So Tiff comes over to the house and she's trying to get Emmett to stop Rob from killing Duda. And when Emmett asks her why he would want to kill Duda, she says that she can't tell him. So he uses this good old opportunity to say, so you drove all the way over here in the car that I bought you for you to not be able to tell me? You got one more time. One more time, sir. This is the problem this is what buying someone you're not with creates. It allows that person to have something over your head for them to keep throwing it back at you. That would have been the last time he had something to say. He would have brought that up to me. The keys would have been on his table. Because what you're not going to do is hold it over my head. Either you're going to give me the car and leave it at that. It's now mine. This is no longer yours. Emmett got it all messed up. He thinking about all the wrong things. But Tiff is just like, listen, we are in danger. Rob cannot do this. This affects all of us. And I need you to put some sense in his head. Tiff really thinks that this could be like a man to man type conversation that Emmett could assist with helping to make him not go through with killing Duda. So Emmett actually agrees. But I don't see it as this going the way that Tiff wants it either. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I think that now this is gonna create something completely different than she even thought. Papa, Kevin, and Jake are all at Kevin's place. They got a blunt in rotation and they're trying to determine what the summer plans are. I believe Kevin asks what the summer plans are for everyone. And Jake is like, listen, I'm just focusing on my fashion, just trying to get my brand out there. And Papa reveals that he's going to seminary school. You know, he mentions that his dad always wanted him to follow his footsteps, but him going on the pulpit to deliver the eulogy, I feel, is when he connected the dots and felt like that was the last push that he needed. Jake is like I get that he died, but that don't mean that you just gotta pick up from where he left off. That doesn't mean that you have to live your life according to how he wanted you to. And Papa, he's real snappy when he does say that. So he's living in a shell right now. Like he's not still truly himself. Like he's like, listen, I know what I'm doing. Just leave me alone. Back off. Kevin tries to make the situation lighter by asking about Kenya, and that's when they learned about how he kicked her to the dirt too. Like he got rid of her too, all because it's not aligned with him and his father's decision. So they're just like, dang, you just letting everybody go. Are we next? Jake started looking around saying, I was just getting used to this place. I was just getting comfortable here, and now you're leaving. And Kevin is like, well, my landlord wanted me to find someone to lease this out. I'd rather give it to you than someone else. So you've been stacking your money. If you got it, like, take over my crib. And if there comes a point in time where you're strapped for cash and you need some help, just hit me up. Like I got you. Um, I think you could do this. So he's like, all right, bet. They shake on it, and now this is Jake's crib. Kevin says, we got to do one more thing before I go. And this moment had me break down, okay? Because you can't tell me these aren't my nephews. They were so little when they first started the season. Well, this series, they were so little. So they are out riding their bikes like they did in the beginning of the series, um, going through Chicago. We see clips of them when they were younger in this scene, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's funny like you don't realize how much time you invest in these shows. So it's like when you see scenes from the original footage that reeled you in the first place, you're like, wow, so much time has passed. So it was dope seeing this come full circle. Like we used to see them riding their bikes when they was kids, hanging out, really being each other's support system. So seeing Kev get ready to leave, it's going to change the dynamics, and I hope that they still stay in contact, and that we see a lot come from this friendship. Darnell popped up at the lounge with a bag of money to give to Duda to buy out Emmett. Duda lets him know, like, listen, this is about half of what I need, so you could go get the rest and give it to me, or you could get the fuck out of here. He says, listen, I'll figure out a way to get the rest, but I can one up better you, Duda says. Take your money, and I'll promise that I'll be easier on Emmett if you just say some good things about me around the town. And Darnell was like, I ain't got shit good to say about you. So no, I ain't doing that. But it was one of those moments where it's just like, dude is like, I'm not taking your money. Pretty much he's not letting Emmett go. So we leave the scene like unsure about how this is gonna work out for Emmett, because Duda forced Darnell to leave with that bag of money. Keisha and her scandalous self went to go meet up Nuck. So she gets in his car and she's like, listen, what's this about? And he says, I know we're not together no more, but I really miss talking to you and I really need someone that I could trust to talk to. And she informs him that, her and Emmett are not on the best of terms. So me being here right now is not even a good look. So I apologize if me reaching out to you made you think that this is a line of communication that I would like to keep open, but I don't. I really want you to take care of yourself, but I can't continue talking to you because I respect my man, which barely. But I'm happy she did this at least because you can't keep doing this. Nuck, I feel like he just doing this for Emmett. That's really why he's doing it. Like he's doing it to try to snipe her so he could have another thing over Emmett. Like I don't think this was sincere at all. But she needed to shut it down. So I'm happy that she did. Jake is home. He's thinking about how, damn, I just got me my own crib. He's on a high just thinking about it. And he takes this moment to let Gemma know that I got me a place. I took over Kevin's place. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you got us a place. And he's like, whoa, pump your brakes. This was not for us. This was for me. I still want a bachelor pad. Like I just got out of high school. So no, this is not our place. And this right here, Jake, a round of applause. A round of applause for you to state your boundaries because this is how a lot of relationships go left. A lot of people don't know how to say no. And a lot of people would have just kept it moving, like, okay, I guess I didn't think of it like that, but we could move together. And then it's downhill from there. They are too young to be living with each other. I agree. And I'm happy that he set the tone for that. And Gemma tried to use the whole, well, if you don't want to live with me, I don't want to fuck you then. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, so you feel like this is going to be the way of you controlling the situation? Like, you weren't thinking about getting your own place? Like, that wasn't one of your aspirations. So you just trying to come on the back of what I'm putting down just so that you can no longer hear your dad and his girl smashing? No. This is a bachelor pad, ma'am. Take a seat. Gemma is definitely Gemma-ing. That's really what it is. She's so used to everything being handed to her that she's just like, what you mean I can't live with my man? You know? And just trying to be very manipulative in this situation. Kudos to Jake, man. Kudos to Jake for keeping your foot down because you have to be sure of what you want and what you need. And he's saying, what I'm needing is my own space. What I'm needing is for me to get this experience on my own, and it's not about you. Emmett and Rob are with Victor in Victor's office, and they're coming to him to get the help to get Duda out of there. They know that they're not about this life. They know that, you know, if they were to do this job, it probably won't be a good outcome. So they're asking for Victor's assistance. Like, listen, this is going to solve a lot of people's problems. And Rob is like, listen, this is going to get done regardless because he killed my family. Like, this is not just because I just want him gone. Like, he killed my family. And Victor really turns him down. And he's like, well, y'all just going to have to do it, but leave me out of it. Beavis and Butthead leaves his office and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to get this done whether you with me or not. Emmett calls Duda to let him know that he wants to speak about something in private. And he's like, I think it's best that you leave freaking Frat at home, the turtleneck crew, Nuck and Zay. And they use this opportunity to set Duda up. And I'm like, I feel it in my spirit that this ain't gonna go well. I really do. Emmett and Rob have no business trying to kill someone like Duda. No business whatsoever. So this is not gonna end well. I already get that vibe. Emmett automatically is like, let's can we wear masks? You know what I'm saying? And Rob is like, but why? Like, dude is expecting you. You just called him, so he knows you're coming. That's flag number one. Like, you didn't even think that part through too, because if Duda dies and they see you the last person to talk to him, like, hello, interrogation right there. Like, y'all already not thinking this through. Gemma. Gemma is in the studio with Brittany, Bakari's sister, and they're listening to some music that Brittany recorded. And Gemma is just being overly flirtatious. Now, remember, we just seen her a few minutes ago being pissed off at Jake for not including her in his bachelor pad. So she's dancing and showing out in front of Brittany. And Brittany walks up to her, see this as the green light to, get a little closer. And they actually start kissing. But Gemma stops and she's like, listen, I got a man. I can't do this. And Brittany was like, oh, the man that doesn't want to live with you. So Gemma's running her mouth. She's definitely running her mouth. She's giving Brittany the ammo to use against Jake, to further manipulate her and get in what she's wanting out of the bank. But anywho, I wasn't surprised by that. Gemma lets Brittany know that I want to have a professional relationship with you, but I also think that he's right that we're too young to live with each other. Like, now that she took a moment to think about it, she sees what he's talking about. But Brittany sent her some money to get her own place. And Gemma's questioning, like, are you sending me this money because you believe in me and what I could do for you as a manager? Or are you sending me this money because you want to fuck? And I think she sent her that money because she want to fuck. But Brittany is like, listen, I'm trying to get to blow up here, and you need the money to do what you got to do. I'm supporting you to, help me. But where's she getting this money from? That's my thing. That's where my mind went to. Like, where did Brittany get this money from? Like, I want to see more there. Like, who sent you? Keisha and her brother Kevin look like they're stretching and get ready to go for a run. But she's also schooling him on the do's and don'ts for when he moves to LA. And she's like, make sure you wrap it up. Make sure you don't do the pull out method. Make sure you're on your P's and Q's. Don't be acting all starstruck. You know, just remember, these are regular people. Be yourself and don't switch up. And if something happens, call me first. Like, I want to be able to help you. Call me before you call mom. So they start running, and I just love this episode gave me, I don't know, I can't even find the words of what this episode did. But seeing them incorporate original footage from when the series premiered, it just did something to me. It made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Like, they've really come a long way. Kevin and Keisha just alone. Like, again, I think now that we're on the mid-season finale, I think I'm going to use this opportunity to really hit play from the beginning, because you forget all the little details that got them to where they were today. So I'm excited to even do that. We see a mess, okay? There's food wrappers, alcohol, just look like a whole trap house in a way. And Bakari is passed out. Papa invited Lene over to see if maybe she could help him get out his funk, because that's what he truly's in. He hasn't moved from this space since the funeral, it looks like. And she's coming to encourage him to not give up on himself. Like, you have so much more to live for. And he was like, well, I already did. I already gave up on myself. I hate to see Bakari going through this. And right now, if Lene can't get him out of this, I don't know what is, but I'm hoping that he don't fall through the cracks, because my boy seemed like he really wanted something different, and the murder of the pastor looks like it's setting him back. Gemma is at the table with her dad and Tiara, and she lets them know that she found a place to stay or that she wants to get her own place. And Marcus automatically was like, "Well, not on my dime." And she was like, "Well, I don't need your money." And he's like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't need your money. Like, my client invested in me because they believe in me, and I'm going to use those funds to branch out on my own." And she makes it clear that, yes, Dad, like, I don't want to be in your house anymore, but that's not going to stop us from being the father and daughter duo that we've been. Like, I'm still going to need you, just not from a financial standpoint. And Tiara was like, "Yes, babe, we can move a little bit more freely through the house. You know, we could have our time. So this could be a good thing. She's an adult. Let her make these decisions as long as the money wasn't acquired illegally and she's not in danger. Let her do what she feels is necessary for her life." So Marcus is seeing the value with that. He's like, "Okay, well, I'll approve as long as I could sign off and approve on your place." So that was the green light Gemma was needing. She gives them a hug. She also thanks Tiara for the help. We are now at Nina and Dre's house where they put together an extravagant going away party for Kevin, and everyone is in attendance. And it looks like they're preparing for a toast. You know, Kevin is not 21 yet, so he got that sparkling cider. But we're seeing the festivities begin. We are at the lounge with Alicia, and she's having a drink. And Zay walks in, and this I was very surprised about. I was like, "What is she up to?" So she lets him know that she heard a lot about him, that she's heard that he's very quiet but mysterious. And she was wondering if he wanted to work for her. And he informs her that, "I already have my boss." And she's like, "I know, but you can't guarantee that he'll still be alive soon." And he's like, "Do you know something I don't know? I'm confused." And that's when she fills him in and she's just like, "Hey, you just never know. It's best to keep your options open." Ooh, this scene was just juicy because it's just like, what is she up to? And also, she did catch his ear because he also said, "I'm listening." And we see the scene pan out. Ooh, this is about to be good. We see Duda and Nuck in the Minions playground. He just finished asking Nuck where are they, and I believe he's probably talking about Zay and probably Emmett because he is expecting Emmett. We see a car driving into the playground, and Nuck and Duda are looking at it, and then they're trying to make out who's in the car, but they can't really see. But the car comes speeding forward and they're looking, and then the second the car made like a little turn, they see a gun pointing at them from the back seat, and they try to get out of here. Emmett and Rob, y'all had one job. I'm gonna say that again. Y'all had one job. How do you go and try to damn near do a drive by with someone of this caliber? You had the ability of technically getting him damn near alone. And the best job y'all thought to pull off was being in the car and trying to get him that way. Like that was the best thing y'all could have done. I'm all the way lost. Like I already knew this was a recipe for disaster when Rob and Emmett decided to do this together. But this is what y'all came up with. So the car gets up closer to them. Rob is taking his shots. And he did get a good look. I'm not going to lie. He did get a good look, but the gun jammed. So while the gun is jamming, now they need to get out of here because they have other people there that could help them get them out. I believe they went to go get the gun or whatever. So now they're shooting back at the car, and Rob gets hit while Emmett is trying to drive off. Now it's just like Now that you didn't end Duda right there, now he's coming at least back for Emmett. He don't have to know it was Rob, which I'm sure he did because there's two size difference, huge size differences for you to put two and two together. But now it's on now because one, you didn't kill Duda, and two, now he knows who it is. Mm, Talk about disappointment that I have for them. Like y'all, every week give me a reason not to like y'all. Cause Emmett, Rob, why? Why did y'all really think y'all was gonna do this? Rob really had the perfect shot though. He really did. And Duda knew it in that moment that it was over for him, but that gun jamming saved his damn life. And Nuck was the one that was able to shoot, and that's what hit Rob in the back. So Emmett's driving off, and Rob is hit. Mm, I'm so mad at them. Y'all had one job. And Victor, fuck you. Because you knew better than this. This is Victor's fault. Like, I know you're not about that life, but I'm sure you knew somebody that you could have paid off to go do that. Like, you know who you could contact. Mm, 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 mm. We're back at the going away party for Kevin, and Lene and Kevin actually had a moment. Lene used this opportunity to truly thank him. Thank him for him opening up his home, opening up his life to her, you know, allowing her to get acquainted with his family. Like, if y'all haven't seen Lene's story, when Kevin met her, she was not in the great living circumstances. She didn't really have um, someone that she could depend on. She had no place to go, when her brother got arrested. So he really was a true friend to her and provided her a life that she didn't even know could exist for her. She doesn't know where she could have been had he not did what he did for her. And for that she's forever grateful. And she's just like, I can't believe you're going, but just make sure you stay in contact. Like, I'm only one phone call away. I'm happy that she was able to give him his flowers because it's true. Like, sometimes people are set in your life and you don't even know the magnitude of how they can impact your life. Because if Kevin didn't do what he did and advocate for her, it's possible that she probably would have never finished school. It's possible that she could have fell through the cracks. Her life could have been completely different. Mm. Mm. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Because what I tell y'all, Shaw gotta be one of the goofiest people I know right now. But we're at the going away party, and Shad approaches Tiara while she's, having a drink, and he's like, "Yo, you really just gonna leave me on red like that? You not gonna respond? I poured out my heart to you, and you not say nothing?" And she's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't leave you on red. I didn't get no text message." This is when this goofy motherfucker, okay, realizes that he didn't send it to her. He sent it to his girl. I told y'all. I told y'all. Because he's so preoccupied of thinking about somebody else's girl, he was too preoccupied to even look to see who he was sending it to. The fact that you sent this message, the fact that you didn't even look to see who you were sending it to, goofy. Goofy. So Shad pretty much ditches the party because now he needs to salvage whatever he can. And y'all know that door is closed. You know that door is closed. First of all, you was Tony Montana last week pulling out them damn bags from the closet or the vent. And now you Captain Save-A-Ho on one end, and you talking about you gotta let her go, and you text that to your girl. Yeah, that door closed. I'm sure of it. You already wasn't bringing nothing to the table, so there's not much you could salvage. Like, you put your foot in your mouth, sir. Like, you had one job before you hit send to ensure you were sending it to the right person. But he hasn't had years of practice. Remember, he was in jail, so He probably not even sure how to look at the contact right. Let me just shut up because I'm spiraling down. I'm spiraling. I'm going down the rabbit hole because it's the audacity for me. Like to think that you could salvage this. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Nope. So Jake sees Gemma on the steps and he brings her an olive branch. It looks like a bacon cheeseburger. Don't ask me. I paused it and zoomed in a little bit, okay? It looks like a bacon cheeseburger. Y'all know how I feel about burgers. Well, if y'all don't know now, you know. I love me a good burger. So he comes, he gives it to her, and he asks her, "Hey, are you still mad at me? Because I know it was a little heated earlier." But she is in better spirits. She was like, "Actually, I'm good." Gemma lets him know that, she came across some money and she was able to use this to get her own place for herself. And as true boyfriend fashion, you're gonna inquire like, where did you get the money from? She looking real sus, you could tell. And that let him know all that he needed to know. And he was like, well, let me guess, Brittany? And she's like, yeah, how did you know? And he was like, she's trying to fuck you. Gemma's like, she gave me the money not because she's trying to fuck, she gave me the money because she believes in me. Like, why can't it be just that? And he was like, well, she ain't dumb. She not gonna just tell you that's what she's trying to do. That's her money and she's now your pimp. And I I I'm on the same page with Jake. Like, nothing in life is free. So nobody just gonna give you 10 G's just because. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always gonna be something that they're looking for in return. So I get Jake in that moment. Kevin has his moment to thank everyone in attendance, to thank him for being a part of his journey, to acknowledge that he wouldn't be the man that he is today without any of them. He's thankful for them giving him the room to make the mistakes. He's thankful for them never, not supporting him. And he lets them know that, the Shy will forever be my home. The only thing that I plan on doing is making you proud. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you. Like, well said, Kevin. Well said. Had me crying and everything. He's leaving in true fashion. And you could feel the love in this room, like how they portrayed the scene. You could absolutely feel it. Everyone is rooting for him. He's gonna do great things. You already know, like what he's been through, where he's come from. Like Kevin is about to shine. After the speech, Keisha approaches Fatima and Victor, and she's like, "Hey, have y'all seen Emmett? I haven't been able to get in contact with him." And Victor already looks suspicious. Fatima looking at him like, "What do you know that I don't? Like, what's going on?" And in that moment, that's when Keisha got a phone call from Tiffany, so she went to go take that. We get to the hospital and we see Tiff and Alicia, Rob's mom, standing over Rob in the hospital. So it looks like he had surgery and he looks like he's in a coma. And Alicia's like, so you're the reason my son needed that money. And she was like, we wanted to start a business. We wanted to get from under Duda. Um, and I feel like you are part of the reason why he's here because of what you wanted him to do. Tiff was trying to inform Alicia, like, your son truly believed that, you know, we could really get this business off the ground. He believed in me. He believed and supported me. And Alicia was like, why are you talking about my son in past tense? You got life insurance for him? And I can understand, like, she's so used to her son being a certain way. So now there's somebody in his life that's bringing forth change and what she never seen him do. She's a little skeptical. So she's like, do you have life insurance on him? And Tiff is like, no, I love him. Like, no, I don't have that. Like, none of this would have happened because of you. It's because of what you wanted him to do while he's here. He told me. Like, we do speak. Alicia gets Tiff kicked out the hospital room. Tiff made a big mistake by mentioning the hit that Alicia put out on Duda. Because you're not a part of this family, because his mom is on some next level stuff, which we're now beginning to really learn how involved she is in this game, Tiff is in danger. And we learn that after Tiff leaves the scene. Alicia so crucially speaks to her son that's in the coma, and she was like, "You need to hurry up and get up so I could kick you in your throat." Alicia said to Rob, unconscious body, "How dare you let her know that we put a hit on that man? Like, how dare you have those conversations with mixed company?" She would be the first person to be on the witness stand if the FBI came around asking questions. So the second she said that, I was like, Tiff is in danger. Tiff is in danger because of all of this now. So how that's going to look now, I'm praying that he wakes up to help cool his mother down. But if he don't wake up, mm, it's not going to look good for Tiff. We're back at the Minions playground, and Zay is now around. And Duda, he's already on edge because of what just happened. Like somebody tried to body him. So he's asking Zay, "Where were you? Why did you leave your post? Why wasn't I able to get in contact with you?" Of course, we know he was with another boss trying to negotiate some things. Well, not necessarily trying to negotiate, but we all know that he was with Alicia, and he was like, "I'm off." And Zuda was like, "You ain't never off. You understand me? You got a lot to learn." And Zay is trying to figure out what the hell happened. Why am I getting the smoke? Just because I was technically off, and now you got me yoked up against the wall. So he's all the way confused. Emma is pacing back and forth in front of Rob's room when Victor comes up and he's like, "Yo, what the hell happened?" And Emma is like, "Yo, Rob had him, but the gun jammed and he got hit. Like, we got to end this now." Victor's trying to see how Rob's doing. He was like, "How he's doing?" And Emmett was like, "He got out of surgery, but he hasn't woken up." And someone had to do something. Like, we really needed this done. And Victor was like, "I told y'all not to do this." But Emmett was like, "Somebody had to do something. Like, he needs to be stopped. Either way." So Victor storms off. Shad walks into Deja's house practicing his speech. Okay, he don't know where she's at in this place. We don't know if she's even home, but he's practicing his line. "I must have rehearsed my lines 1,000 times to find my stuff on the couch." Because that is exactly where his stuff is. He was rehearsing them lines. He was just trying to figure out what exactly he was going to say to reel his girl back in. And she's like, "Checkmate." All his stuff is on the couch. And you could tell that she has to be home. She had to have heard that he came in. And she's like, "I don't even need to say two words to him." What she did, she hearted the message that he sent. That's Team iPhone. She was able to heart the message to show that yes, she saw it and yes, she reacted and acknowledged it. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Like, you was Tony Montana last week. You revealed that you was lying to me about something else going on. You're a liar. So there's nothing more that needs to be said. And he picked up what she put down and was like, "Fuck," and had to start getting his stuff. Bakari looks to be waking up in like a drunken state, and he turns around, and in the distance, he sees the ghost of Coogie. Like, I would have never even thought that we would see Coogie's face again. Remember, we only saw him season one, episode one. We didn't see him ever again, but his name has lived on throughout this. Like, this was the start of the Shy. So, talk about reminiscing, being able to see our boy Coogie. Rest in peace, Coogie. We here because of you, okay? But Coogie is talking to him saying, like, "I didn't need you to, settle the score and avenge my death. Because after you did that, you still feel like shit. I need you to live. I need you to do more than what you're doing now." Coogie tells him, "I don't want you to die for me. I want you to live the life I couldn't. Like, my life was cut short." And that's what made the situation so crazy about Coogie, because Coogie's life was cut short, just because of a mistaken identity type thing. He wasn't like living wrong or doing crazy stuff. Like, Coogie was murdered because someone mistaken him for someone that killed someone else, you know? So he's like, live the life that I couldn't live, be more, do better. Bakari fully wakes up at this point now, and we see that the image of Cookie is gone. So we would have to say it's more like a dream state that he was in. But I think this is exactly what Bakari needed to truly move on. He needed something more than who was with him personally in real time to get a change. So I think this is going to be the change that we're going to see in Bakari going forward, because now you got confirmation for who you killed for that you need to live. If no one else told you need to live, let Coogie telling you that make you do some major changes in your life. We're now back at Victor's house, and Victor comes storming in, and Fatima is asking how Rob is doing, and in the process of her asking questions, Victor is pretty much taking off his corporate attire and he's putting on his hood attire. So he's getting his black hoodie, he's changing his clothes. And she's like, "Where are you going? You are not leaving this house. You're not doing what I think you're about to do. Like, you have people here for you that need you. You don't need to be going out there." And he's like, "You know what? You're right. I wasn't thinking. But I do just need to cool off. Just give me a minute. I'm going to take a shower." And he doesn't even go fake to put on some water, nothing. He just goes, gets his gun, he cocks it back. How she didn't hear that, I don't know. This is TV. But he does that and he leaves out the back door. So you already know what he's about to do. And now it's just like, okay, what's the status of his relationship that's going to be? Because in a few minutes, you're going to realize that he's not in the shower. We are now at Kevin's apartment, his empty apartment. Talk about full circle for the season. We saw him move in with so many aspirations and optimism to see what this new journey was going to have for him, and for him to quickly find a new lane for himself post graduation and really emerging into a new chapter in his life. So to see this full circle, oh, it made me so excited for Kevin's character, because it's just like, you've been through so much and I'm happy that we're here. So we see the empty apartment, we see him doing his final walkthrough, he turns out the lights and he leaves for his journey. And that's how we close up this episode. We opened it up seeing him getting ready to leave. We close it seeing the apartment completely empty. And we're going to see Jake moving in soon. So that was episode 8. That was the mid-season finale. So many moving pieces, so many things I still got to say, so many things that I want to know. We're not going to find that out until they release the rest of the season. And from what it looks like, I don't know. I'm going to keep y'all updated. It looks like we're going to have a little wait. We do have the strike going on. So I'm thinking that these 8 episodes that we saw was what they was able to produce before the strike. I don't think the second half of the season has been filmed yet. I'm wondering, when are we gonna get to see how this is all gonna end? Hmm. But like any other show, I'm gonna end it with some predictions. Let's start off with Victor. Okay, we ended with Victor leaving, in his hood attire to go finish the job, because he knows that Duda cannot. Now that y'all tried to get him out of there and y'all weren't successful, he knows that Duda now is going to cause more problems in these streets. So now he's trying to finish the job that they couldn't. But do you think Victor's going to be successful? I don't know. I think Victor went out there to go kill Duda. And I think that, one, he put his relationship in jeopardy with Fatima. So I think we're going to see their relationship break down. And I think Fatima's going to leave, because he clearly drew the line in the sand by stepping to handle it. Like, the same reason you didn't want them to complete the job when they came for your help was the same reason why you shouldn't have been out there again. Like, again, he doesn't have connects to go pay somebody so he could keep his hands clean. I just don't understand what he's thinking. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds. Maisha is now in a long distance relationship. We didn't see much about her post the diss track. So I know when this new season returns, we'll probably see more on that, how she's handling the long distance relationship. Papa, the days in front of him is not going to be easy. It's really not. Right now, he is just embodying everything that his father would want and not really trying to align what he wants as well. And I hope that Jake is patient with him. I hope that he finds some sort of mentor that could help him throughout this journey, because losing his voice of reason, losing his person, is going to be tremendously hard for him. And right now, I'm not seeing Papa living for himself. I'm seeing him living for his dad, and we want more for that. We know that Papa was on the path of, trying to figure himself out. So this right here is going to be a delay in that, and I hope that he doesn't get lost in the sauce. I really hope that he finds peace to, find that middle ground for himself. Gemma and Jake are going to be done. Gemma is going to naively learn that, one, either the money that Brittany gave her is dirty, or two, she's going to be put in a situation where she realizes that Brittany really gave her that money because she wants her. And then she's going to be put in a position where she's like, damn, I lost my man for this. And he was right all this time. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot that could happen with her storyline. But what really has me concerned is, where's that money coming from? Like, where did Brittany get that money from? I don't know. Bakari, that visit from Kugi is going to have him reflecting on his life. It's going to have him change up. I'm hoping this happens before the bag of guns is found in Lene's closet. Because again, whatever you going through, how dare you treat Lene like that when she's trying to support you and help you, and you got the bag of guns in her closet and you here having a pity party for yourself. So I'm hoping these things happens quickly, where you get that bag, you give it back, you do what you got to do. Take Lene out the equation. Duda is on edge. Now he knows someone is out to get him. Now, I wish we could have saw some more feedback from Duda's perspective of who he think it is. Like, I think it's safe to say that he knows it was Emmett, because Emmett had called him. Um, but I think Duda's gonna be on guard. Like, he's gonna be two steps ahead of everyone. So it's gonna be real hard to get him taken out. I still think Nuck could play a role in potentially getting him out. I don't know. Alicia, we're going to be seeing a lot more about Alicia. Mind you, this episode put a huge lens on how she is, like who she is, and how involved in the game she is. And it seems like she's trying to replace Duda. It seems like if Duda's out of here, Alicia's going to be the one to take over. And she give me pure ruthless vibes, to be honest. Like, I think we should be worried about her too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Duda and his minions is one thing, but she just seems like she's on a whole nother ball game. It's gonna be crazy. Who else? I think that's really it. We haven't been seeing Tracy. We haven't seen what's going on with Dre and everything. So there's a lot of stuff that still hasn't um been shown to us, but we're gonna get 8 more episodes. This is the most episodes that we've gotten in the Shy season, so I'm thoroughly excited about it. But let me know what you guys thought about that episode. Let me know if you think Alicia's gonna be taking over for Duda. Like, what do you think the rest of the season is gonna hold? Let me know if y'all got any inside scoop on when the remainder of the season is gonna air. Because I have a feeling, something in my gut is telling me it's gonna be a minute. I'm hoping it's not a year though, but it's gonna be a minute. So chime in, people. Remember, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on Apple Podcasts. Leave a comment. Remember, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at I'm underscore that's underscore dope. You can also find me on Threads as well. All my links will be in the description. Follow me, chime in. Let's keep the conversation going. And just as always, it's always been a pleasure talking to you guys. Gonna miss you, but we'll see you back and pick up from where we left off. Bye.